And we're back with Legends of Lake Howell. Today, our featured guest is none other than Raevon Redding. Raevon, how are you doing today?
I'm so great. I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me. I'm really, really excited. You know, I love Lake Howell, so I'm excited to do this.
Well, thank you for joining us. So, tell us about your current job. What are you doing now?
I am currently one of the Walt Disney World Ambassadors, so I have the distinct honor and pleasure of representing all 76,000 cast members that work at Walt Disney World Resort, Vero Beach Resort, Hilton Head Resort, and our Shoreside Cruise Line cast members. So through various cast member recognition events, I get to be present on behalf of our president. I get to do things in the community, you know, giving back to our volunteers, but also with media. Whenever we have media come to the parks or resorts, I'm there to speak on behalf of all the cast and all the great things that our cast members are doing.
So I remember you received the Disney Dream Endure Award. Mm-hmm. So at that time when you received the award, were you thinking that you wanted to work for Disney at some point? Or?
Yeah, I remember that day so vividly. You know, Clay Shoemaker was the ambassador at the time, mm-hmm. and Mickey Mouse came into the cafeteria, and I said, oh my goodness, Mickey Mouse is in my classroom right now. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't believe that the magic of Disney existed outside of the parks. I thought you could only get that magic within the parks. Yeah. And so it was that day I said, if that's a job, I want to wear a suit and work with Mickey Mouse. And that's what I get to do now.
So as an ambassador, you get to travel a lot. Where have you gone, or where have you been?
Yeah, I do get to travel quite often on behalf of the company and represent all of the cast and what they do. I've been to as close as Miami and Tampa. Mm-hmm. I met the First Lady in Miami, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. I've represented our cast members in the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade. I've been to Chicago for the Magnificent Mile Parade, Louisiana during Essence Festival, and then D23 Expo over in Disneyland in California. So various places around, and hopefully this June we'll make our way over to Disneyland Paris.
So a lot of us, most people think that there are two parks, the one in Orlando, Disney World, and then there's the other in California, which is Disneyland.
Right.
But there are parks in other places as well.
There are parks all around the world. So yes, the original park was Disneyland over in California. They have two parks, so it's Disneyland and California Adventure. Mm-hmm. Then we have Walt Disney World Resort here, which is Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and then all 27 resorts. Mm-hmm. We have Hong Kong Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, which used to be Euro Disney, mm-hmm. Shanghai Disneyland, and Tokyo. And we also have a resort in Aulani, or in Hawaii, mm-hmm. called Aulani Resort and Spa.
So have you had an opportunity to visit the other parks as
I have
well?
been to every single park except Disneyland Paris, and this July I will be staying at Aulani, a resort and spa in Hawaii for my birthday, so I'm really excited about that. But I've been to all of our other parks, including especially Shanghai. I actually worked in Shanghai Disneyland.
All right, so this probably is not a fair question, but do you have a favorite park?
It's not a fair question at all. And I don't want to give you the Disney answer that all of our parks are very unique, right. But I would have to say that Tokyo and Tokyo Disney Sea, by far, are my favorite parks that we have as a whole. And then within Walt Disney World, just here in Orlando, Epcot for sure.
So this question is for my 9-year-old daughter. She's a big Disney fan, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask the question. But what is it like working with Mickey Mouse?
Oh, if there's anything that I want people to know is I have the coolest job in the world. I mean, everyone knows Mickey. Mm-hmm. He's great. He has great outfits and costumes, you know, for different events. And I think working with Mickey is truly like the pinnacle of what you can do at the Walt Disney Company, is standing by his side and knowing that this guy is well known around the world, mm-hmm. you know, and it all started with him. And I think that is the coolest part, knowing that what we have right now, you know, with all the parks around the world and resorts, and even beyond that, it all started with Mickey Mouse, and I get to hang out with him every day.
So take me through a typical day in your job as an ambassador. What does that look like?
Yeah, so I mean, every day is very different. Mondays, I call it my meeting madness Mondays. So I normally have anywhere between 6 to 7 meetings, and a lot of those meetings are planning meetings, getting organized, really diving into what does the next week, what does the next month, what does the next quarter of the organization look like, and how could I be involved to really represent the cast. But I mean, a day like today, I had the honor and pleasure of speaking to our student government students, you know, from around Seminole County. And and then I get to be here with you. After this, I'm going to make my way over to the Galactic Star Cruiser. They're about to celebrate 1 year of being open and really welcoming guests, so I'll be there to celebrate those casts. After, I have a 2 o'clock meeting that has been a long time coming for an event that we've been working on for a while. So it's the last final meeting, and then we're going to close out Black History tonight over at the Contemporary Resort from 5 to 8. And then tomorrow I'm running the Run Disney 10K Princess Race. Oh, wow. So it is nonstop. My days always look different, and they're jam-packed. And the days that I don't have anything, I get a little nervous. Like, I think I'm missing something. I don't know what's going to happen, if I don't have anything on my agenda, but I do like those days.
So as a cast member, you get an opportunity to experience some of the rides ahead of time.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know that they're opening up Tron at some point.
Yeah, Tron Light Cycle Run.
A soft opening.
Yeah.
Tell me, have you had an opportunity to ride it?
Yeah, so I actually was one of the few who got to ride it in Shanghai Disney, because that attraction is actually in Shanghai Disneyland over in China. And so I rode it all the time when I worked there. But about a month ago, I got to do a Walt Disney World Imagineering walkthrough with the Imagineers behind the attraction. And I had the opportunity to really learn the story behind the music, behind why this turn is here, what's the reasoning for having this part of the queue, in this section versus in another section. And then I got to ride it, of course, multiple times. So we are doing a cast member preview, so our cast members do get an opportunity to experience a lot of our attractions and offerings before guests do, just to show our appreciation and say thank you for your hard work. And we know that you're going to be working hard and it might be busy and you won't always have an opportunity to get on, so we give them an opportunity to experience prior. So I actually have my preview on Sunday.
Do you have a favorite ride? Of all the rides that you've gone on, is it one that you said, I can just ride this hundreds of times?
People who know Disney are going to laugh at me, but also understand why. The Tomorrowland People Mover, the Transit Authority People Mover, is by far the greatest ride. Why? It's simple, it's easy. There are parts where you get to people watch. There's parts where you get to enjoy and take a quick cat nap. There's AC. There's just something about the Transit Authority People Mover that is just incredible. I love that. And then right under that would be Big Thunder Mountain. And that just takes me back to my childhood. It was the first big kid coaster that I got to ride, with my cousins. And we were so small, we would slide around in the car. And so it just brings me back to my childhood. And I think that's what Disney's all about, is bringing out that inner kid and making sure you feel like, wow, I've escaped reality and I'm really in this world of fantasy.
So you have an opportunity to work at Disney World, the happiest place on earth, right? Are there any misconceptions about working with Disney or being an ambassador?
I can definitely speak to being an ambassador. A lot of people think, you get to show up and wear your nice suits and smile and nod and, shake hands and kissing babies is what is perceived to be my role. But it's so much more than that. I mean, I have the lives of 76,000, the reputation of 76,000 cast members on my back right now. What I look like, what I do in the community, who I speak to, and the way that I speak on behalf of the company is reflected upon our cast members. So it goes deeper than just shaking hands and kissing babies and speaking to the cameras, but it really allows me an opportunity to learn from our cast, to see how hard they work. I mean, they are some of the hardest working people that I know in the entertainment industry, but I mean, it shows. People come to really experience the magic, and who makes the magic? The cast members.
So you mentioned wearing suits. So we're going to switch over a little bit, and we're going to talk fashion.
Yeah.
Specifically bow ties. Let's talk about your bow tie collection. How many bow ties do you think you own?
I currently have 100 bow ties that I own, and most of them, if not all of them, are self-tie bow ties. So I self-tied this bow tie. A lot of them are custom made for me. I've gotten a few from different folks who have got me gifts, throughout the years. But I'm hoping to get to 200 before the end of the year. That is my goal. I mean, I have a bow tie for every occasion. So I'm wearing my firework bow tie because I'm celebrating being, a Lake Howell graduate and a Seminole County Public School student, and just super excited. I have a bow tie for rainy days. I have a bow tie if I'm going to be culinary. I have a bow tie for literally everything you can think of. I probably have a bow tie for it.
So I would say that you're a connoisseur of bow ties. What makes a good bow tie and one that's like not so good?
That's a good question. And I've only been asked this once, and it really made me sit and reassess. Really, it depends on your style, and it depends on how you're going to be portrayed in, whatever event or in anything that you're doing. So a good bow tie to me, one it's fluffy, it's nice, it's big, and it fits the width of, from chin to chin. That's what I think makes a good bow tie. But also, it goes with my outfit and it goes with the theme. So really, a good bow tie could be anything. And there's no such thing as a bad bow tie. Now, I'm probably going to get a little bit of scrutiny for this, but I don't do clip-ons. I think if you want to have a good bow tie, you got to self-tie it. YouTube University taught me how to tie my bow tie. And so I would encourage everyone to get out there, and it's a task at first when you learn, but if you can tie your shoe, you can tie a bow tie.
Bow Tie Tuesday.
Bow Tie Tuesday. Yeah. Bow Tie Tuesday is something that I actually wanted to start here at Lake Howell. When I was a student, I dressed up all the time. I believe one of the senior superlatives that I had the honor of receiving was best dressed in my class. That was because I dressed up all the time. Yeah. But on Tuesdays, I encourage everyone that I work with to wear some form of a bow, whether that's a bow on your neck, a bow that's on your wrists, on your phone, a headband, but wear a bow just to show your appreciation for bows and bow ties.
What inspired that, your love of bow ties?
I always knew that I was unique and I was different. And I did enjoy wearing ties, growing up as a kid. But there was something about a bow tie that I saw and I was like, that's different. And if I'm gonna be different, I need to do something different. And you always saw back in the day, people who wore bow ties were normally professors or people that were really deep in their books and studies. And they were kind of looked at as you're wearing a bow tie. But now people are expressing themselves in all sorts of bow ties. I mean, I have wooden bow ties, I have ceramic bow ties, I have acrylic bow ties, I have cloth bow ties. I mean, bow ties can come in all shapes and sizes, just like everyone. And so I think wearing a bow tie just shows my uniqueness and shows people's uniqueness versus a standard tie, which is standard across the board, I feel like, in the business professional world.
So you mentioned Lake Howell, and you were excited to be here, and you're wearing the tie to celebrate coming back to Lake Howell. So you are coming up on an important milestone pretty soon, and that is
10-year reunion. Yes, I graduated in 2013, and at time of recording is 2023. So this upcoming homecoming will be our 10-year reunion, and we are starting the beginning phases of planning, which on top of being a working adult and having a personal life, a work life, now adding planning, it's a difficult task, I will say.
So as you think back on your time at Lake Howell, if you can describe your experience in one word, what would that word be?
My experience in one word with my time here at Lake Howell, I honestly will say one word would be pride. My experience is all about pride because I feel like we are one of the smallest schools in Seminole County. I mean, next to some of our other partners, but we had so much pride in our sports. We had so much pride in our theater program. We had so much pride in culinary and JROTC. And so I knew, being a part of student government, I had a lot of pride. And I mean, we had big shoes to fill. We had great individuals who were in leadership roles that were here that I wanted to make proud, that I'm hoping, I am making them proud, but I found that we always had pride, and that's in our alma mater, pride forever. And I remember, saying that in my graduation speech, and it's true, this will forever and always, hold such a sweet spot in my heart, but I have pride for being a Silverhawk.
So did you have a favorite teacher when you were here, or someone who inspired you? Is there one person that inspired you the most, or maybe two people?
You're gonna get me in trouble. I would be remiss if I didn't say this person first. And I know a certain person's gonna think them, but I have to give them props. You're gonna get me in trouble. Mr. Howard, you know what you're doing. There were a slew of teachers, and I ranked them all equally. Right. Yeah. I will say, however, when However, when I became a student government representative or a class president, I will say Miss Barclay at the time, who ran the student government program, and she ran it with an iron fist, but she knew what she was doing. And a lot of the students that came out of that program are very successful now and doing great things. So I would have to say Miss Barclay. but along with Miss Rivas. Of course, I mean, Miss Rivas was the teacher that I would get off the school bus and I would go directly to Miss Rivas' classroom and I would ask her if she had food. And I would ask her if she had something for me, you know, but she created such a comfortable space and atmosphere for not only me, but for other students that we flocked to her. Deetra Dobson, I mean, the list goes on. Mr. Collado, who was, you know, a teacher here, and his wife, Mrs. Collado. I mean, all of these teachers really helped and morphed me to become who I am now. I can go on with all the other, you know, senior sponsors or leadership sponsors, but I think definitely Miss Barclay and Miss Rivas and now Miss Dobson, who is doing a phenomenal job with the program, are making a difference in the lives that they're coming in contact with.
You know, it's funny. Miss Barkley was the stern disciplinarian, and Miss Rivas was like the cool parent that you can go.
She was the fun aunt.
And talk. She was the fun aunt,
Yeah.
right? That had the snacks and the food. So that's great that you had that experience. So this year, our theme is preparing for greatness.
Right.
What does greatness mean to you?
Greatness means walking in excellence. Something that I put in my email signature that I share with everyone that I come in contact with is you have to autograph your work with excellence. Everything that we're doing right now, even from the sound and the camera crew, the students that are behind the scenes, what they're doing is going to make a difference in their lives. But they have to remember, and everyone who's listening and watching, I want them to remember that they have to walk in excellence. That makes a great leader is the way that they carry themselves, the way that they are really open to listening and being there, being kind, and knowing that, you know, they have to take a step back sometimes. And that makes an excellent individual. And so when you are doing your work and you're walking in excellence, that makes you a great leader and a great individual.
Well, Raevon, thank you for coming in. But before we leave, I've got a special gift for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Already? I can open this now? Oh, man. It's like Oprah, but yeah, I gotta reveal the prize. All right, let's see. Oh, it's hard. Get out. My very own legend bow tie. This, I now have 101 bow ties that I can add to my collection. Wow. Oh, I can't wait to get a piece of fabric on this and I will wear this with pride. I really will. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone, to Rivas, who I know was behind this. I can't thank you enough for having me. And I look forward to coming back more.
Thanks. We look forward to seeing you at your 10-year reunion.
Yes.
All right. Thanks.